Johnson Thomas Omonakwe Aguiyi-Ironsi was a Nigerian general and the first military head of state of Nigeria. He seized power during the ugly events of January 15, 1966. Like many before him, he was also murdered by disgruntled soldiers. Ironsi was born into the family of Ezugo Aguiyi on 3rd March 1924 in Ibeko, Umuahia, now in Abia State. He had his primary and secondary school education in Umuahia and Kano, respectively. At the age of 18, he joined the Nigerian Regiment in 1942 as a private with the 7th Battalion. In 1946, he was sent to a staff college in England to be trained as an officer. After completion of his course, he received a short service commission as a second lieutenant in the Royal West African Frontier Force. When Queen Elizabeth II visited Nigeria in 1956, Aguiyi-Ironsi was one of the officers who served as equerry, and so he was appointed a member of the Royal Victoria Order. On 8 October 1958, he was promoted to the rank of a major. In 1960, he was made commandant of the 5th Battalion in Kano with the rank of Lieutenant Colonel. He headed the Nigeria contingent from the United Nations operation in the Congo in 1960. 4 years later, he was appointed as the commandant of the entire force. In 1961, he was promoted to the rank of a brigadier, and in 1965, he got another promotion. This time, it was the rank of a Major General. That same year, the British Major General, who commanded the entire Nigerian army, handed over this position to him, making him the first Nigerian indigenous officer to head the entire Nigerian army. With this position, Aguiyi-Ironsi was now the highest ranked military officer in Nigeria.
The coup now begins to look more and more like a straightforward military revolt against corruption in government, and one that's likely to last. It has popular backing. What's not so clear is who its real backers are.
During the first military coup in Nigeria that killed high-profile politicians in 1966, it was Aguiyi-Ironsi who thwarted the coup. He was purportedly marked for assassination, but he escaped and led the soldiers that crushed the coup. He captured and imprisoned Nzogo, who was the face of the coup. After crushing the rebels, he compelled the remaining members of the Belewa's government to resign, and Nwafo Urizo, who was serving as the acting president in Azikiwe's absence, surrendered power to him. This officially ended the Nigerian First Republic.
The federal military government in Nigeria has taken over the administration of the country. Functions of the federal military government will be exercised by the Supreme Military Council, and details of which will be announced later.
On 17th January 1966, Aguiyi-Ironsi was named the military head of state. But the people of northern Nigeria kicked against this because none of the high-profile victims of the 1966 coup was of Igbo extraction, and the Igbo people were also the main beneficiaries of the coup. These facts made the Northerners believe that it was an Igbo conspiracy. Aguiyi-Ironsi tried to dispel that notion by cutting the aggrieved ethnic groups through political appointments and patronage. But his failure to punish the coup plotters and the promulgation of the now infamous decree that replaced the country's federal structure with a unitary one made the conspiracy theory believable. On 29th July 1966, when Aguiyi-Ironsi was in Ibadan for a nationwide tour, disgruntled northern soldiers staged a counter-coup. This coup was led by Lieutenant Colonel Murtala Muhammad, Major Theophilus Danjuma, Lieutenant Colonel Muhammad Buhari, Lieutenant Colonel Ibrahim Babangida, and Lieutenant Colonel Sani Abacha. Aguiyi-Ironsi was arrested together with his host, Lieutenant Colonel Adekunle Fajuyi, who was the military governor of Western Nigeria. Ironsi was questioned about his alleged complicity in the January 15 coup. After the interrogation, he was murdered. His body and that of Fajuyi were later discovered in a nearby forest. After the death of Ironsi, Lieutenant Colonel Yakubu Gowon, who was his chief of staff, was appointed as the head of state by the coup plotters. Aguiyi-Ironsi was in office only for 6 months before his death. Many people believed he killed himself by appointing a northerner as his chief of staff and embarking on a tour at such a delicate time. We also have people who believed that if he had executed the January 15 coup plotters he arrested, the northern soldiers who killed him wouldn't have had a justification to stage a counter coup that ended his life.